Hold on. You keeping that going? Without further ado, I want to introduce Dutch. He's the manager of Big K.R.I.T. Y'all know who Big K.R.I.T is? Y'all like Big K.R.I.T? I love Big K.R.I.T. Lyricist right there, you know? So without further ado, let me have Dutch come on up here. We're going to share. Yeah, give it up for Dutch. Give it up for Dutch. He's so cool. So Dutch,
That's what's up.
tell me what it is that you do. I know you manage the artist Big K.R.I.T. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes. So you're a manager. How did you get into the music business yourself?
Um. Well, shit. That started back in the day. So back in like 2003, 2004, I ended up. I'm from Houston, Texas, and
Okay.
I ended up moving to New York City. So I moved to New York City. A homie of mine, his name is Smoke Dizza. He was rapping, and I was cool with him. So I decided to move to New York, and his his homie, which is this guy named Johnny Shipes, had a label called Cinematic Music Group. At the time, I was just like, all right, cool. I'll move to New York and I'll intern. So I ended up interning for Johnny Shipes and going to New York. And I was just pretty much the do boy. And I was doing everything that I needed to do. I was just delivering boxes, picking up boxes, putting together mixtapes, just just doing all the.
The stuff that nobody really wanted to do at the time, but that's the foundation, the beginning for you.
Yeah, yeah, but at the time I was just excited to be around. I was from Texas, so living in New York,
It's a big city.
it was different for me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, the radio stations was different, the artists was different, the way everybody was moving was different. So for me, it was just like, all right, let's try and take a little change and do something different. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So.
absolutely. So that's how you got your start. Now, what do you think, or what are some of the skills you feel that a successful manager must possess to do what the things that you're doing right now as a manager?
As a manager, I feel like, you have your client. Your client is the brand. Um, you have to always remember that it's always the client first. So you are playing the back end. So you have to put yourself second. Get what I'm saying? That's how I play it. I'm not sure how anybody else does it, but
Well, we want
everybody's.
to we want to hear from you because it seems like you've gained some success from working with Big K.R.I.T and doing what you've done over the years. So, what is it about you that makes you the most successful as a manager? Is what I want to know.
Um, I think I've just always done more than what I've been asked to do. I never settled on. I'm never content. You get what I'm saying? So when I had a task, I would do the task and I would do more than the task. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I got even into the position. I feel like.
So, how did you link up with Big K.R.I.T to begin with?
Once again, I was, in New York. Yeah, at at Cinematic. I met Shipes. I was actually tour managing because after the time I had tour managed for Nappy Roots before, and then Sean Kingston after that,
Oh, really?
and then I went from Sean Kingston and I was doing this thing called the Smokers Club tour.
Yeah.
Um, so I started doing that, and then I met Crit, and then
The rest is history.
yeah, I met him in 2010. We started working in 2010.
What battles or issues do you seem to face today working with like promoters for shows and appearances? I know I see you a lot working your artists, but what type of, I guess, issues do you run into when it comes to like promoters and doing these shows since you did touring and stuff too?
What battles?
Any like issues that you face with promoters? I know a lot of times you hear managers or just people in the industry talk about the issues they might face with promoters. Has that been a case for you with doing touring and setting up appearances and shows?
For me, um, it's been a little easy going, but I can see that there are issues and battles and situations that you have to go through, trials and tribulations while you're on the road, dealing with promoters or whatever. Sometimes a promoter doesn't understand your brand. Sometimes a promoter sometimes you might deal with the head of the promoter. So like you might deal with like a big promoter, but they may not understand what the artist brand is. They just know the artist can bring in money. With that being said, the promotion level isn't as strong as you need it to be. Um, they may just put the flyer on the internet and then that may be it. You get what I'm saying? There's no grassroots marketing going on for the show or things like that. I think that's the problem nowadays with a lot of promoters. I think they just socially, I mean, obviously that's a big part. But then to me, I still feel like you need to tie in the grassroots marketing along with social
And when you
marketing.
say grassroots marketing, for people who may not know what that is, what could you explain to us what it is?
I mean, just the old school way of how they did it. I mean, getting out there just hand to hand, word of mouth, flyers,
Street
stills,
team.
street team. I mean, flyers aren't, but you know, whatever. You get
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, I
You know,
understand.
just a little combination of both to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's important. I agree. Now, tell me, you talked about how you kind of put the artist, or you do put the artist first as a manager for you. That's your prerogative is to ensure that the artist's brand is clear, right? What other things are you doing in terms of like going to sessions with artists, handling the show stuff? What else do you have to do being the manager of an artist?
Well, being the manager of the artist, you have to do a lot. My fault. It's so much stuff you have to do. It's first of all, it's everyday living. So you're managing an artist plus you're managing a lifestyle.
Right.
You're managing a person at the end of the day. Understanding that artists are creative. So with artists being creative in the way they are and what they do, um, sometimes you have to understand why they are that way. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, sometimes you may have an artist that's a little. Sometimes you just may have to do a little bit more for them. You get what I'm saying?
I
Because
always
their focus is music.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I always hear people say when they're managing an artist that they have to do a lot of babysitting.
Well, no, I wouldn't call it babysitting. You're just managing a career.
Okay.
It's
Yes.
you know, it's a brand.
Yeah.
It's that's what I'm saying. You're not putting yourself first. You're not focused on what you have going on. You're focused on what's going on here, and then you go from there.
So let me ask you this. K.R.I.T came in the era of downloading and in the streaming era. How do you feel about the way music is consumed today? And how does that affect you and pushing the music?
Um, well, Crick came up in the era. Well, he really came up in the era of selling CDs, but
Oh, I'm sorry. Correct me, please.
no, it's fine. It's cool. But at the end of the day, it was the beginning of the downloading and streaming era. With that being said, I think that era is amazing. I think what's going on right now is amazing. Artists have a lot of opportunities to make money right now. Streaming, they can put out their own projects. They can monetize their own situation, their own socials. It's a lot of ways for artists to make money right now. So if you're an artist out here, I hope you're listening. It's a lot of ways for you guys to make money. Just definitely do the research and just go from there.
What kind of upcoming projects are you working on? I know y'all stay moving around in Atlanta with the music. I know the last time that I spoke with you guys, y'all were working on another album. Is that true? Or working on an album. Is that true?
Yeah, K.R.I.T is about 90% done with his album.
That's exciting. Y'all excited?
Yeah, he's working on his album now. It's almost done. It'll be out soon. You'll see when we get to flying. Be soon,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. And like I said, this is just a brief Q&A. I can't take up a lot of Dutch's time, but if anybody that has questions that they would like to ask, I'll take a few from the audience.
As a manager, what is the percentages nowadays for management? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes. The percentages are anywhere between 0 to 20%, obviously. But the max to me is 20%. That's the standard max. Usually that's where it's at, or negotiations anywhere between 10 and 15%, or 20%, or whatever.
Is that off sales of material?
That's
Or
usually off of everything that is, all anything that comes in.
okay, okay, thank you.
But as a manager and a manager's standpoint, how do you get to getting your artists to different clubs and get them promoted to that different club? Like, how do you get them to get there? How do you talk to the promoters and things of that nature?
I mean, idealistically, I mean, it's the record. If it's that type of artist, um, I mean, everything starts from the record at the end of the day. So, to me, what I'm saying, either that or it's a lifestyle artist. Right now that's very important with social and everything. You don't necessarily have to have a hot record. You can be hot on Instagram or the socials and get bookings and do things of that nature.
It's a young crowd. Basically everybody's kind of hungry, want to be successful. You work with an artist who's achieved like a certain level of success in the industry, so that makes you successful as well. So what's some advice you can give to everybody, I guess, on pursuing your passion, making it happen, and just doing it?
Uh, Once again, my answer to that is gonna be very open. I think everybody's path to success is going to be different. If there was a book that said how to make it in the music industry, then everybody would make it. You get what I'm saying? It's a destined thing. You have to put in a lot of work, a lot of grind, a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of a lot of a piece of sorry, a piece of advice I like to give to people or artists, especially artists, is that if you're trying to be an artist, um, just know that it takes time.
So, at what point do you feel like? Because I know a lot of artists try to ask this question and try to figure it out. At what point do you feel like an artist needs a manager or should have a manager? Should they start off with a manager, trying to get a manager, or should they wait till they've established themselves a little bit more before they get one?
That's a good question. I always feel like an artist knows when they need management when management reaches out to you. Um, when people start reaching out to you, I think that you know, then you kind of got something. You get what I'm saying? Once again, you can start off the other way. You never know what the path to success is. You know what I'm saying? But people hit me all the time and be like, "Yo, I need management," but I'm just like, what's not trying to be funny, but for what? You need development. You got a lot of stuff you need to work on right now. When someone hears something or they hear something that they can tweak or work on, or you know, then be like, oh yeah, this dude is dope. Hit them and be like, are you manage? You have a manager, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you go from there. But that's my philosophy to it.
Shea Butter James on Instagram, Butta, not ER, Ebonics.
Yes, sir.
But I just wanted to ask you. I know that I think chopped and screwed culture was big in Texas for a while, like the slow down music. And I know a lot of that is influenced by lean culture, like drugs. Having an artist, like, as a manager, when do you find that fine line of, like, taking care of them as a person and more so handling business, as far as, like, a lot of artists have vices. How do you manage those vices, if that makes sense?
No, I get what you're saying.
That was a really good question.
Once again, this is an artist is an artist. You don't. It depends on what the level is. You get what I'm saying? Some artists need vices to do what they do. It just is what it is. Some of your favorite artists or some of your mom and dad favorite artists were on some of the craziest vices. You get what I'm saying? It just depends on if they can handle it or not. Now, when it gets to a point where it's affecting one's health or it's affecting business, then you step in and you be like, hey, either I can bring in help or I can bring in some type of assistance to make sure that this doesn't get too far. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my answer to that.
So this is my last question for you, because you mentioned something about a lifestyle artist, or what that is versus just like branding an artist. What does that mean? Because I mean, obviously we live in a day and age of like social media. A lot of artists are getting like, you got Yachty who's getting endorsements with Sprite to Target. You're more than just being the artist at this point. What did you mean when you said lifestyle artist?
At that point, I just meant that it's ways for people to make money outside of music, and people are showing that. A lot of artists' music may not be quote unquote popping,
Yeah.
but their lifestyle may be popping. And I'm not talking about like anyone in particular. I'm just saying in general, like people may be funny on Instagram, or people, it is what it is, or whatever they do, they may attract that crowd. You get what I'm saying? So, and then obviously they had that record to superset it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Exactly. Yes. Good knowledge. Good knowledge. I wish you much success with all that you're doing with K.R.I.T, all that you're doing as a manager with your new artist. Yes. Y'all give it up for Dutch one more time. Tell them again where they can find you on either social media, or if you want to give that email address out again, where they can reach you.
yeah, my email address is Dutch Dinero, Dinero. My socials are Dutchington, Dutchington. That's
He's
it.
so Houston, just chill, laid back. Dutchington, he said Dutchington. Yes, thank you again, Dutch. I appreciate you for coming out here. I know we value your time. We appreciate you for coming.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate you, everything. Patchwerk Studios in the building. Appreciate your old banger. You know what I'm saying?
All right, y'all. Ron's gonna spin some tunes. We're gonna allow Dutch to get on out of here. Talk to y'all.
Sonically superior.